Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Craig Peterson here on WGAN online at craigpeterson.com. We've been covering a lot of stuff this show today. We just talked about these challenge cards. And if you're interested, if you didn't get that URL, I'm going to give it to you again. I love these things. They're great for your kids, grandkids coming over for the day, whatever it might be. Go online and go to either look for James Dyson Foundation or just go to my website at craigpeterson.com. You'll find it there under the radio show. But the James Dyson Foundation is who published these things. They're absolutely phenomenal. We also talked about President Trump's executive order banning foreign electrical equipment from getting into our grid. Looks like they're going to try and remove equipment that's already there after the attacks that have been mounted all around the world against different countries. There's no time to let your guard down. We've got corona fraud in a very, very big way still. So we talked about some of that, what that's all about. And telecommuting in a post-COVID-19 world. What does that look like? How is that going to affect our businesses, our lives, our jobs, etc.? So if you missed any of that, you can just go online to craigpeterson.com, check the podcast, and you can listen to it right there. I've also been trying to put them up over on YouTube and put them up on Facebook from time to time. I'm going to get better about that. I absolutely have to, because we got to get this message out to everybody. And if you have shared my newsletter with friends or some of these webinars, I did like 24 over the course of a couple of weeks. If you shared any of them, I just want to thank you guys so much for doing that. This is such an important thing for me to get the word out. That's what I've been trying to do for decades now, because I got nailed as a small business owner by one of these pieces of nastyware that was out circulating at the time. And I really don't want it to happen to you or anybody else. And it really upsets me when I see some of these advertisers who are deceiving people. Just this week, I broke down one of these ads I was hearing for VPNs. And every word they were saying was correct. But if you get into like the legal definition, if you're sworn in, it's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? What does that mean? Well, the truth, okay, so did you rob that store? No. Okay, that's the truth. The whole truth might be, no, I did not rob that store, but I heard Jane robbed the store. Or I know Jane robbed the store. Right, that would be the whole truth. So they're talking about their VPN product, and they're talking about how it can keep your data away from prying eyes. Well, yeah, it's kind of true, but it also exposes you to even more prying eyes. You see what I'm talking about when I say not the whole truth? So that's why I've been doing all of these free little trainings, and also been doing lots of stuff for some of the paid courses and training too, because we've got to help people understand. And that leads us to what we're going to talk about right now, which is Microsoft Teams. Now, Microsoft Teams is not bad. It's software that you can get as part of your, it's now called, I guess, Microsoft 365 subscription, which can be good, right? And Teams is what you need in order to have collaborative work and to be able to do collaborative work. But just as a quick word of warning, the only collaboration system out there right now that has full auditability and all of the features that are required by some of the more advanced regulations is WebEx Teams. But anyways, on all of these fronts, from the Microsoft Teams through, you might be using Slack, which is another very popular one, and even WebEx, but we're seeing a whole lot of phishing emails. And there's a warning that just came out here this last week that particularly people who are working in industries such as energy, retail, and hospitality, there are some hackers out there right now that are attacking people specifically pretending they are from Microsoft Teams. So they're trying to steal the access credentials of employees who are working from home. And what we've been finding is that many of the people who are working from home right now are, they're not being supervised by the security people. They're using a home computer. It may or may not be up to date. It may or may not have a reasonable security precautions on it. It can be a real problem. And when they're getting an email like this, if you ever get an email that looks like it's from Microsoft or looks like it from a vendor that you've been using, if you're in the office, you might lean over to somebody else and say, what do you think of this email? Do you think this is legitimate? Or you might report it to your IT people, your security people, etc. But we're finding with people working from home that they're not double checking it. And so they're clicking on a link. They think, oh my gosh, I'm not using Microsoft Teams properly, or I messed something up and there's something I have to do. I got to recover this. I got to figure this out. And in fact, what it is that the bad guys out there that are trying to hack you realize what it is that you're trying to do, which is just get my work done, right? Just get the software working. And so they have been directing attacks to the people that are a little bit more ignorant in some of these ways, all right? Now, at this point, it looks like most of these attacks are not highly targeted. In other words, it's not spear phishing. So it goes right back to what I was talking about earlier, those emails that we were getting from the Nigerian prince, right? They are general. So they're unlikely to mention your username in Microsoft Teams, even your company. They are just generic and they can be sent to anybody. And so the hackers have taken lists of different companies and what businesses they're in and have been trying to direct them to those businesses. Now, the URLs that are in these, oftentimes we're finding that they are using multiple levels of URL redirects. And the idea behind that is to throw off these malicious link detection tools that are out there and to hide the actual URL of the final domain that's being used to host the ultimate attack. Isn't this something that these people are doing? So I did some training here on using Cisco Umbrella, which is a product that we sell, but you can buy directly from Cisco. It is specifically designed to help prevent these types of attacks. And I think it's really important that everybody use that, install it, get the free version if that's what you need. If you're a business, you should talk with me, because there are special business levels that are not offered on the Umbrella website, but special business versions that allow a lot more tracking and a lot more granular control. But make sure you have this in place, because even with the multiple redirects, the odds are high that Cisco Umbrella is going to be able to detect that, all right? So one message is impersonating the notification that's received when a coworker is trying to connect with you or contact you via Teams. The other one is claiming that the recipient has a file waiting for them on Microsoft Teams. And the email footer even has legitimate links to the Microsoft websites, Microsoft Teams, application downloads, etc. And in one of the attacks, this phishing email is containing a link to a document hosted on a site used by an email marketing company. So we have to be very, very careful. And especially now where we're working more at home, we are going to be continuing to work more at home, most of us anyways, and we are using these collaboration tools, and maybe you don't have access to your normal tech support people that you would have access to. So double check all of that. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about the biggest threat to the small, medium enterprise space. Your small business, your small office, your home office, what it is, what those numbers look like, and what you can do about it. And we will be back in just a couple of minutes here. This is Craig Peterson. You are listening to me on WGAN or online at craigpeterson.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.